Great victory to Real Madrid, winning 2-0 against Atletico Bilbao. Everybody knows that Atletico Bilbao is one of the toughest opponents that you can actually face in La Liga. And Madrid actually did a great job today. Don't lose this next program. Welcome, everybody. Here we go. And this is the next show of Football con Bambang. And yes, another game in the league. We know already that Real Madrid has lost against Villarreal in the last match to the league, giving Barcelona the lead of 3 points in the league and able to fight. So therefore, Barcelona actually won a little bit earlier, 1-0 against Elche, putting pressure to Real Madrid, a must win. If not, Barcelona will continue to have an extensive lead in the league. Therefore, right now, Real Madrid needed to come up and show their A game. However, we know that Real Madrid is currently facing a lot of injuries and key injuries, because we're talking about mid-contention, Aureli Tchouameni. We're talking about center back, David Alaba. We're talking about right cornerback, Dani Carvajal, Luka Baque, and Odriozola is just coming back from another injury. Therefore, Ancelotti is facing currently right now with difficult choices to make. We know already that in the Cup of Kings, you saw already that Ancelotti brought in Marcos Asensio, brought in Dani Ceballos. They both did an amazing job, and therefore for compensation, he actually put them today as starting lineup. And I will read the starting lineup that actually Real Madrid had today in the game, which was started with Thibaut Courtois in the defense and the goalkeeper as a goalkeeper, Ferland Mendy, Antonio Rudiger, Elder Militao, and Nacho Fernandez as a defender. He brought actually Dani Ceballos, Eduardo Camavinga, and Federico Valverde in midfielder. And for attacking, he had Vinicius Jr., Karim Benzema, and Marcos Asensio. Talking about a little bit about this formation, Carlos Ancelotti actually started playing around a little bit. We all know that Toni Kroos, even though he's having one of the greatest start that he did in this league, in this season, having rested, not having to go with the national team, has shown that he's been coming more comfortable in the game. However, he's been able to play because due to the injury of Tchouameni, he's been able to have to play as the mid contention, which is one position that he has confessed that has never felt comfortable for him. Therefore, Carlo Ancelotti decided today, let's give him a little bit of a breather, let him start in the bench, and let's start with Dani Ceballos to play in there, which has shown that he's feel comfortable. Plus, Dani Ceballos, this is his natural position, being on the left midfielder, and he's been outstanding every time they give him an opportunity there. And we always know that Fede Valverde, even though he has not started with the great season since the World Cup, he has shown last game that he started to ramp up a little bit. Therefore, Carlo Ancelotti wanted to give him a shot to start playing on his natural position, which is on the right midfielder position. He has come up, and obviously Eduardo Camavinga has shown the last game on midfield contention that he felt comfortable. This is actually his position when he used to play in the French league. This is the position that he felt most comfortable. Therefore, coming in here to Real Madrid, they get with the absence of Tchouameni and with the absence of Toni Kroos in the starting lineup, Eduardo Camavinga has given the opportunity to start again. And what a game he has performed. He ran over 10 kilometers. He actually took multiple contentions. He actually supported Ferland Mendy consistently with the speed of Nico Williams, and helped a lot in the midfielder with Rudiger when actually Iñaki Williams was starting to attack. He's been phenomenal today. He did get a yellow card during the game. However, it was a close yellow card. I would have not given a call the yellow card. However, he did get the yellow card during the game. But after that, he's shown that every day he's getting more and more and more mature, and being able to contend and not go overboard to get a red card or being expelled from the game. Also, he got the red card around 60 minutes, therefore not too early in the game, as sometimes we've seen him sometimes. So therefore, showing a little bit more maturity, or showing that Carlo Ancelotti is trusting him a little bit more, and even getting with a yellow card, Carlo Ancelotti has continuously given him more and more time to be able to evolve in the field. Now we'll talk about a little bit about Marco Asensio. Marco Asensio shown last time that he was actually on his A game, starting to show back that he's willing to fight once again for his position. We all know that Rodrigo last game got a little bit of a punishment. He did felt a little bit of on his knee. He felt a little bit of pain halfway of the game, and Carlo Ancelotti took the decision to take him out earlier in the game. Something that didn't stand pretty right where Rodrigo, as a phenomenal player and a competitive player, He wants to stay in the game. Carlo Ancelotti coming out, try to give him the hand. We saw Rodrigo just bypass him without clapping in his hand. That didn't sit good with Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti was seen going to the bench and saying to him, to me, you don't disrespect me not clapping my hand. If I show you my hand, you give me a high five from there. So therefore, showing a little bit to the youngster, understandable. Carlo Ancelotti in the press conference downplayed it, said basically he felt a little bit of pain and he understood why Rodrigo was a little bit upset, but it was nothing. Therefore, today, actually, Marco Asensio started as a starting lineup. He had a really good game today. Actually, he came in, he had positive amount of passes. He was participating, he was returning to the defense. Therefore, he had an outstanding game, or looking at least as the improved player that we want to see when it's needed. These players coming from the bench, they have to perform, and he's doing it. So therefore, he's been having the last 2 games, he's been performing, and that's been positive consistently across the board for Real Madrid. One of the players who actually has not been able to show up a little bit, and it's very important that Real Madrid needs him to be on his A game, is Vinicius Jr. Vinicius Jr., we saw him today, we can't take away merit from Oscar de Marcos. Oscar de Marcos consistently try to cut off Vinicius' speed, trying to give him the little bumps when he needed to give the bumps, frustrating Vinicius. At that top point, that Vinicius started arguing a lot with the ref, starting arguing about every contact that he had. He would toss himself to the floor and immediately make complaints. Therefore, Carlo Ancelotti got a little bit upset with him and started telling him, don't fight with the ref and don't fight with the players. Talk to me, try to calm down. Therefore, Vinicius still shaking his head. The next play he does, he still argues against the ref. And Carlo Ancelotti is forced to actually do a rotation, which the rotation actually came in a positive moment, in a positive way. But I'll go back down once we describe right now as a brief summary of the game. We'll start with the game. The game started in the first half, Real Madrid proposing. Real Madrid trying to implement, trying to wake up, having a good first half, dominated the game the first half, 60 to 40% on the possession. Real Madrid came up, had initially a possible penalty call with Marco Asensio's in the 18. It was checked on the VAR. The VAR said it wasn't enough. It wasn't really a penalty kick. Therefore, the game said, the ref said, play on. And it wasn't until mid-24 that actually came in, and Real Madrid had a pass to Karim Benzema, and he actually did what we call in Spanish semi-volea, which is a side kick, pretty much, but starting from the back. Such a phenomenal goal. Put it in the corner of the goal, which the goalkeeper had impossible opportunity to actually get it. However, that's how it concluded 1-0 for Real Madrid. Comes the second half of the game. Real Madrid started from parts to parts, showing a little bit more comfortable, being extremely confident, extremely concentrated. One of the things that we actually saw today from Real Madrid is that he had minor mistakes. And one of the things that Real Madrid has conceded at the beginning of this season, after it comes out to be from after or post World Cup, is that Real Madrid has done all the last 6 goals that has received. 5 of them has been from mistakes from the defense. It's been small mistakes, lack of concentration, and that has caused 5 of the 6 goals from Real Madrid this past coming back from the World Cup. However, today was the exception. Actually, today Real Madrid was extremely confident, extremely comfortable, extremely concentrated. There was some opportunities because Atletico Bilbao actually had on their heels to Real Madrid. At one point, you got to see 5 defenders for midfield for Real Madrid, which is very uncommon to put the Real Madrid in that position. It could have been that the midfield started to get a little bit tired, wasn't been able to capture and recuperate the ball as comfortable as they were in the first half. Atletico Bilbao continuously kept attacking, kept putting pressure. The corner kick started hurting a little bit Real Madrid at the point that around the minute 80, Atletico Bilbao scored a goal. However, this was taken away due to an offside by Guruzeta. Guruzeta actually was in the offside position, and the ball made contact with him, even though Courtois stopped it, gave a rebound, and Williams actually scored it on the rebound. It was actually taken off due to offside. But then again, like I said, and I mentioned to you before, Vinicius Jr. had to come outside in the minute 83 for Rodrigo Goes, and at the 85, Dani Ceballos come outside, and Toni Kroos comes inside the game, doing a start. Rodrigo begins the play, takes the ball. He's almost against 4 defenders, finding himself in the half of the court, a little bit by Alonso. He decides to drag, holds the ball a little bit, wait for his colleagues to actually come up and catch up with him. He makes a pass to the right corner where Fede Valverde is putting speed, and immediately nobody even expected it. Fede Valverde just corners out the ball, gives it back to Rodrigo in between three players. Rodrigo takes the ball, does one dribble forward, passes it back, and Toni Kroos is there to be able to just put it inside on lower to the right-hand corner where it was impossible for the goalkeeper to actually come in. So therefore, this giving the victory, an extreme important victory for Real Madrid, because Real Madrid is not having one of the easiest schedule. He's coming banged up. Every game that he's passing, he's suffering more and more. And we've seen it already since the beginning. He played Villarreal, which he had a defeat. He suffered two key injuries in that game, which was Tchouaméni and David Alaba. He goes to the Cup of Kings, to the Super Cup. He plays against Valencia, goes to overtime right there, losing Lucas Vázquez. And then it comes out to play against Barcelona, and in Barcelona gets abbreviated. He actually loses the game against Barcelona, comes back, plays against Villarreal in the Cup of Kings for the round of 16, and comes in, wins the match, but showing frustration, showing more injuries on the game. And then it comes out to be that he comes back. He's playing this game against Athletic Bilbao in Bilbao. And then now this Thursday, he's going for the quarterfinals on the Cup of Kings, going against Atletico Madrid, which is currently right now being on the uprise. He's playing well. He actually got the new acquisition this week of Memphis Depay also, which is going to help a lot the team being more offensive. And of course, Atletico Madrid actually had the loss of Joao Felix, but we will still see that it's Atletico Madrid very competitive. Griezmann playing an outstanding game. We're seeing Morata playing a little bit more, and we're seeing Atletico Madrid actually more offensive. Coming from a big victory this week also in the league, but that's Thursday game. What do we have after that? Well, Real Madrid comes back to the league, playing on Sunday after Thursday. He's playing on Sunday against a Real Sociedad, which is a Real Sociedad who's currently fighting for Champions League, is the third place right now in the table of La Liga, and is extremely confident that they can actually put any obstacles against Real Madrid. We have to see how Real Sociedad comes back, because they are going to face this Wednesday coming up to Barcelona in the Cup of Kings for the round of 8. So therefore, we'll have to see how they banged up they come from that game to be able to face Real Madrid. Then Real Madrid is going to have a home receiving Valencia, which we already just mentioned a couple minutes ago. Valencia took to 120 minutes Real Madrid and went to the penalty kicks against Real Madrid in the Super Cup of Spain. From there, Real Madrid has to fly out to the World Cup Club World Cup, which is going to be celebrated from February 1st to February 11th. Real Madrid will have his first game on February 7th. If they win, they play on February 11th. Now, what's the crunch time with this? If Real Madrid plays and wins Atletico Madrid this Thursday, Real Madrid is in a moment that they might have to alter and advance their semifinal game prior to the Club World Cup. And it might face whoever the team. It could be Barcelona, it could be Real Sociedad, whoever comes up in that game. They're going to have to come up and play probably a tough opponent to be able to then go to the World Cup of Clubs, try to win that club, come back, face a league game, which I'm not sure exactly who's going to be the next opponent. I'm not sure if they're going to go with Elche, which is supposed to be the next date that they should have on the league, or Osasuna, which will be the next game, or even Mallorca, which Mallorca is actually the game that has to be canceled because of the World Cup the Club World Cup. So it's an extremely, ambiguous schedule right now that we're going to see Real Madrid. But after that game, Real Madrid will have to probably go to Champions League against Liverpool. But then it's not only that. If Real Madrid passes from Atletico Madrid and doesn't actually play prior to the World Cup of Clubs against the semifinal, he will have to face the semifinal probably the week before the Champions League, which will put extremely complicated the health and recovery for Real Madrid players. So it's a very tough schedule coming for Real Madrid. Currently, Real Madrid sits in the second position in the league, still putting pressure to Barcelona. Barcelona had a victory, as I mentioned earlier today, 1-0 against Elche. And it looks like Real Madrid still gets the 3 points, still puts the pressure, still wants to win the league. He's still going to be competing up to the end. This is going to be an exciting league coming up. We have to see that if Real Madrid is going to lose points, it could be in these next couple games. We're praying actually that Real Madrid continues to good pass and start winning. But I want to listen from you guys. What do you guys think? You guys think Real Madrid is going to lose points with the schedule that I have just shown to you? Or do you think Real Madrid is going to be able to continue to have successful opponents or games as they conclude in consecutive going forward? And then what will happen is once the injuries start recovering and coming back to the game, that will give an extra breather to Real Madrid. However, we can say right now that it's been a breath of victory to have Marco Asensio playing the way that he's playing, Dani Ceballos playing the way that they're playing, and Eduardo Camavinga playing the way that he's playing. If actually Vinicius Jr. gets back on track, we've seen Benzema coming up and up his game after the World Cup pretty much. After he's coming back from his injury, he's playing as he was last year when he closed the year. So that's a positive news. Well, definitely right now, Rudiger is starting to need to get back to his A game on the defense. But if David Alaba comes back, it's actually going to cover up that gap that we're having right now and there. So anyways, my friends, hope you enjoyed this show. Hit the like button. Give me a comment, your opinion. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell. And let's see you until next time on Football con Bamban. And I want to say thank you so much for participating. Ciao.